If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your faded words I will choke.
Happy Action Monday to everyone in the sports universe. It is, oh good lord, I forgot the date on there. Anyways, it's October the 3rd, 2022. Happy October, everybody. Holy, did you know it was October, Sammy? Because I apparently did not. But this
my
is
kids
AM
reminded
Drive.
me.
Right. And so did Green Day, by the way. And I don't care what Twitter tells me about someone passing. It's still a great song, and I can make the Wake Me Up When September Ends joke. But this is the AM Drive on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. For Sammy Action, who's got a thumbs up every day, double thumbs up. Woo! I am Michael Carvella. Sammy, how was your football weekend, dude?
It was awesome, man. We had a couple friends over. We spent the day watching every single game and questioning every coach's decision, just the way Sundays are meant to be.
You know, I'll admit, Sammy, I know we're going to get to a couple of those, but I have to admit to you, when you first started telling me about the coaching things, I'm like, okay, yeah. This week was just, even as soon as I saw the hardball going for a touchdown on 4th and goal, when you guys are leading, it's been like a bloodbath. That was very peculiar. That's all. It was very weird. Like it's 20-20. It's not like the game's like 35-28. You can't stop them. It was 20-20, man.
I say this all the time. I cannot play a single position in the NFL. I could not devise a defensive scheme to stop any single player in the NFL. I could not put together a playbook to score a touchdown in the NFL. But right. God knows I could be a better game manager when it comes to clock management and game situations than a lot of these fools, simply because I played Madden football my whole life. Because these guys, man, if it's playing to me and I'm just a casual fan who watches the game, how is it not playing to an NFL coach getting paid millions of dollars? It's incredible to me they get this stuff wrong every single week.
It's also incredible, Sammy, that it's like they put together the perfect game plan until it's not perfect. Like you have to, like those situations matter in football. I believe like the record through 4 weeks, like I believe we had a record of 1-score games through 3 weeks. We got a record through 4 weeks. Like this stuff matters right now. Like these games are close.
Well, what's worse is these coaches and the players who then subsequently make the same mistakes don't get held accountable, right? Like the media questions them, they have to answer questions for a day or two, and then we're on to the next game. And then it's like, John Harbaugh gets asked, why did you do that? And he's like, well, I wanted to go for the touchdown. And then we move on. Like, no, you idiot, you lost your team a chance to win a game. Because here's the thing. Kicking the field goal in that spot may not win you the game. Buffalo may come down and score a touchdown. But now it forces them to score a touchdown for you to lose the game. If they kick a field goal, it's still a tie game, and that's a huge difference.
And we're going to get to in segment 2 on how frustrated those guys were because Marcus Peters, because at first on the sideline I saw Harbaugh kind of cussing someone. I'm like, wait, that was weird. And I saw Peters being restrained. I was like, oh yeah, that was Peters.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what Marcus Peters is saying, I 100% agree. It made zero
I'm sure
sense.
That was what
zero.
Yeah. We want to let people know about our website. Our sponsors, Shop, Socials, and YouTube are all right there. Visit our website, MikeandAaronDrive.com today. Hey, I have a new announcement for the show that I think has been pretty cool for the people that actually watch and listen. Every Monday for the remainder of the NFL season, the quarterback's number who wins the game, that number will be a discount on the shop. So thankfully, Mahomes did win. So we got 15 instead of 12% off. So if you use the code in all caps on our shop, Mahomes, you get 15% off your order.
Nice. Hopefully Jalen Hurts is on the show every once in a while.
Right. And it expires every Saturday. So make sure you get it between Monday and Friday. And get yourself. I also had phone cases this morning. Like there were some sweet AM Drive, iPhone, and Samsung cases out there. So and they're only like $16 a piece. So
Nice.
it's nice. I love spring, and I think that's a great thing for us. So code Mahomes this week for 15% off, especially if you're listening or watching live or this week. Use that code if you ever want to buy a shirt or anything. Great deal for you. Waste just money, but we don't care. We're not making money anyways.
That's true.
Hey, I do it for fun. Sunday Night Football. Wow. To say Mahomes, and I love that Chris Collinsworth mentioned this on the broadcast, to say he was pissed about the Super Bowl was an understatement. Because they just, like, even when they were up, like, I think it was like 17 late in the fourth quarter, he still took a shot to Juju, albeit the shot was intercepted. It was like they wanted to kill them. And that Buccaneers defense might be with the Cowboys is by far the best in the league right now. With the Eagles too, obviously. Dude, it didn't matter. I mean, Mahomes is out to prove a point. A guy who didn't even have to prove a point. He's got like 5,000 yard seasons almost. And it's still like, oh, I'm still that guy, Tom Brady. This was great. This was insane to me.
Yeah, coming into the season, I was concerned Mahomes was not going to be quite as good without Tyreek Hill, and their offense wasn't going to click. Man, this team is good. Their defense is good. Like,
yes,
their offense is clicking. That Mahomes is special. I've changed my opinion. I think that they are equally, if not more, dangerous than they were last year. And God, they looked good last night. It was hard to imagine them putting up 40 on the road in Tampa. But wow, what a performance! Anybody
who had the over of 70, I think you need to go talk to Christ and apologize for lying. Because I don't think in my wildest choice, there's these prop bets on BetUS where like you can guess at the score between what it will be. I'm pretty sure 70 is like they score 60 or more. Like no one would have bet that last night. Nobody.
Yeah, I was shocked to say that Seattle was the highest scoring team in the NFL all day yesterday. And then it looked really close. Like it really looked like Kansas City was going to overtake them and put up 48. I mean, what a crazy offensive explosion.
And the thing is that people don't realize is, the Buccaneers offense struggles, but this defense, like I said, people like to make fun of like the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I always say the offensive line for the Chiefs was horrible. This year, they're getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire some running lanes. And I'll say it again, Steve Spagnuolo is a gem of a defensive coordinator. Every year, even if they are giving up points, by the end of the year in the postseason, Chiefs have a good enough defense to win the game. And this year they're starting with a decent defense, and that's scary for the future.
They do. I mean, to be fair, Brady and the Bucs lit them up pretty good last night too.
Right.
I mean, game script being what it was, and the Bucs offense isn't bad. The Bucs offense has not been complete. Right, they were missing Mike Evans, they were missing Chris Godwin, they've been missing a lot of their key weapons every single week. This is the first week where they were all back together, and they look really good as well. I mean, you start off the game by fumbling the kickoff, and you're down 7-0, and the game script automatically flips to you have to play with a little bit more desperation, and that's what it seemed like. And they could never get back into the game, right? Every time they would score, Kansas City would come right back down and score and keep a 2-possession lead. So it was an entertaining game for sure. Given a rematch between these two, I could see it being a much lower scoring game with their defenses playing better if it's not, so frantic to start, right? An easy touchdown to start the game.
I'll say this as well. I feel like the Chiefs, like offensively, it wasn't like they were doing it like, I don't feel like even if the 85 Bears were there, I thought Mahomes would still beat that team last night. Because it's like you're looking at this team like Buccaneers are chasing Mahomes around. Even like the one throw where he just went absolute. I've seen sidearms from him. I've seen left-handed completions. I've seen the new shovel pass. He is the Steph Curry of the NFL. I've never seen a guy just throw it, hey, here, after scrambling around, I've never seen a guy just go like this. And then it goes perfectly into the guy's hands.
It was the football version of the alley-oop. I mean, it was incredible.
I've never seen that throw. Like, I've seen, desperation. But you plan in your mind, and for your receiver to know, I mean, he doesn't know it's coming. But for you to plan in your mind, okay, this is the only way I can get this through here, is just bananas to me. Like, you don't teach that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, his intangibles, his on the cuff, like doing things, impromptu. It's just incredible how he just creates opportunities for himself and his team. It's so fun to watch, and as a fan, it's a pure joy. I mean, that stuff he does it blows my mind.
And for the Buccaneers, I don't want to, like you said, they are getting healthy. They are getting some guys back. So let's not give them a crap shoot here. Like they hung in there, and they could have died down and lost 52 to 10, but they kept on fighting, and that's a sign of a championship team.
They did force a punt finally at the end of the fourth quarter. I give them credit for that.
There you go. But also, yeah, health is going to be their biggest thing. Aaron called it first, like their offensive line needed help. And even the guys they have now, if they can just gel together, sometimes, like, look at the Colts paying Quentin Nelson. It's not about paying a guy, it's about everybody working together.
For sure.
And that helps a lot. So,
and I want to be clear here. The Bucs lose this game. It doesn't stifle their chances of being a Super Bowl contender or the best team in the NFC. The NFC is incredibly weak. The top maybe 5 teams are all in the AFC. And so you're going to get value out of the Rams or the Bucs or the Packers, who never win the playoff, or or a few other, or the Eagles. Like, one of those teams is going to emerge because there's just nobody in the NFC to stop them. Right? These are all second level teams, and the Bucs are right in that group, regardless of being 2-2. They will be, they will be a contender to get to the Super Bowl. And as we saw a couple years ago, it only takes one good game for the NFC to win a Super Bowl game, right? So, all the AFC bloodbath will have to take care of itself. The NFC will just sit there waiting and then get one play, one team. So, the Bucs can still win a Super Bowl. This has no bearing on them losing their contendership.
If their defense keeps it up and they do get healthy a little bit, they're going to be impressive.
Yeah. I firmly, like I said, I firmly believe they will be there in the end, whether it be at Super Bowl or close to it.
Agreed. All right, let's get to this guy. Listen, man, I just want to let you know, I'm sorry. Like, it's happened again. I'm sorry, bro. All right. For those of you that are listening, I was talking about Mitchell Trubisky on Chicago Bears jersey, and Steelers fans have been wanting to cut this man's head off ever since he got onto the team, okay? Because as soon as they saw Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh, they wanted that guy. They did not care what play Trubisky made. And I did a whole 2 weeks of tweets on that thing showing people he wasn't bad. But could he have been better? Obviously. But it's not like he was losing the team the game. Like there were games like Deontay Johnson would drop a bucket catch. Like, okay, screw Trubisky for now. Okay, the whole team has been pissed. But boy, when Kenny Pickett, that's it. Jets came back from 10 down. And Mike Tomlin, you better be glad he's got a stoic face, because I know he was pissed at himself too. You see his look at the end of that game? That was hysterical in my opinion. Like, you finally succumbed to the fan pressure, and look where it got you, pal. What is your thoughts on the Jets coming back in Zach Wilson's season debut?
Well, I mean, the Jets were winning when Trubisky was in at the end of the first half, and they were winning when Pickett was at the end of the second half. So, the Jets were my pick this week as a play plus 3.5. So for me, it was enjoyable to watch regardless. But Trubisky didn't play well in the first half, and Kenny Pickett did not play well in the second half. I would actually argue Trubisky played better, ever so slightly. But throwing 3 second half picks when your team's up 10, and then to be fair, Kenny Pickett did not have a ball hit the ground, right? He threw 10 passes, 7 of which were completed to his team and 3 were completed to the other. So, accuracy, he was pretty good. But all kidding aside, he did not play well. And I don't think he should be the quarterback going forward. I think Trubisky is a little bit better, right? Not a lot better, but a little bit better if you're a Pittsburgh fan. And
I'll keep telling Pittsburgh Steelers fans this. It's not in the fact I'm just rooting for Trubisky, and I hope Kenny did I say that? I hope Kenny Pickett burns in the fire. I do want to say, I don't think either of them is a future. And this notion that Trubisky should lose his job again after you guys signed him for the sake that Pickett might be good, because he's a hometown kid, is just stupid. But this game, Tomlin literally succumbed to you guys' idiotic pressure. Everyone went bananas on Adam Schefter's tweets, and it got you absolutely nothing. It gave you a step, 2 steps back for 1 step forward. There's a lot of issues on this team right now. And to say that a guy who does not have a strong arm, I mean, people go like, I don't know where the notion is that Kenny Pickett has a good arm, because I don't see it. He's small. And unfortunately, he's not Kyler Murray. He's Kenny Pickett. That matters.
Look, the Steelers were my under on win total pick at the beginning of the season for a reason. They aren't a good team in general. This is a team that's not going to win a championship with either of these guys. You can make the argument if you're not going to win this year, you may as well play the young kid and see what you got. So I'm not opposed to this idea that he's going to be the starter, but Kenny Pickett didn't even practice with the first team this week. He didn't throw on Friday. He was ill prepared to be in this game as a starting quarterback. If you want to do that, just give him all the first team reps, give him all the practice, and let's see what we have here, right? But throwing him in the middle of game script, where your team is losing and expecting him to compete against an NFL, it's just setting him up to fail. And that's what he did, is he failed. And
Which
that's not
shows
for his future anybody.
Right, which shows me that I love how the entire team, like, all of a sudden, like, he got a rushing touchdown. Oh yeah, now we're gonna start playing good for this guy. No, you can't just turn. There's no on and off switch in the NFL. I've learned that for 25 years of just being I'll say 20 for the sake of argument. I've learned that for 20 years being a fan of sports. There is no on and off switch in pro sports. Okay, even in basketball, you have to have your switch a little bit on. If you're just a sore loser, then yeah, you're going to lose games. I'm sorry.
I would like to give it up to the Jets, though. Twice this year they've been down, 2 scores in the second half and have found ways to come back and win. And this is a team that I've been saying will be good, not this year, but maybe next year. And you can kind of see it. You can kind of see, some of the pieces coming together for them. They're probably a year or two away from being a playoff team, but this is a good young squad, and I enjoy watching them kind of put it together little by little.
Those green helmets are also kind of cool, the way they reflect. Kind of like the Giants blue used to do in the lights of MetLife. I like that, actually.
Actually, the helmets I liked the most yesterday were the Saints ones over in London. Those were really nice, with the black ones they were wearing.
Yeah. There's a lot of black ones this year. I think there's a Texans red coming out as well. There's a lot of good helmets this year.
The Bengals whites are pretty cool, too.
That Siberian Tiger was kind of sexy, I'm going to lie.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, wow, John Harbaugh, are you that stupid? And also, Cowboys or Eagles? We're going to start a firestorm after this. And also, Monday Night Football is on the way as well. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise. For $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap, because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
For this licensed hat, this shirt, that jersey, or that jersey, you've got to go to mikeandaarondrive.com and do what, Sammy Action?
Click the F. It's over there this time.
Oh, that's true. Because there I go. First it was the date. Now I'm stupid. Thank you.
Go.
You were good on the directions this time, though. Go there and click the F, and when you do that, the entire Fanatics experience is at your disposal. So support your favorite players from your favorite leagues and teams and the show by going to MikeandAaronDrop.com, clicking the Fanatics logo. And by the way, use the code FALL. That's use the code FALL. Today's daily deal is 65% off site wide. That's got to help you guys a little bit, right?
Yeah, and it represents the fall of Mitch Trubisky. That's a good good segue, Mike.
He didn't mean that. Did not mean that. But hey, we are excited to be affiliate link people with Fanatics. You get it. Okay. God dang, John, what was that? Watching this game live, I was watching so many games. I'm so glad I tuned into this moment because I felt every bit of that defense's emotions, and they came unraveling on the TV in so many different ways. So the Ravens and the Bills were tied 20-20. This was after a nasty rain-filled muck game where the Bills had come back. Ravens had kicked a couple of field goals, so now it was 20-20. Well, hindsight and really reality at the time would tell you, hey, kick a field goal with 3 minutes left. It's like the Bills have 40. They've got 20, John Harbaugh. So why not? No, we're just going to try to do a touchdown, and that ended miserably. So the Bills go back down the field. And yeah, they marched down the field, but my favorite thing about that was when Ravens players finally realized we've got no timeouts left. And they're going to kneel it down until they get a 20-yard chip shot. And then I saw John Harbaugh and Marcus Peters on the sideline. First, Harbaugh said some cuss words. I was like, whoa, what was that? And I was like, oh, Marcus Peters is pissed. And that has to be who he was talking to. And I don't even have to look that up. But seeing those players visibly are you kidding me right now? That's a problem in Baltimore. Because that game was so important to them to punch them in the mouth. And they did so for 3 quarters and 14 minutes. But boy, was that terrible at the end, dude.
It is. And we touched upon it in the first segment, but it's one thing to take shots to try to win the game, right? But even if they score that touchdown, that's not a guarantee win for them. And to take that shot in that situation, tie game, 4 minutes to play. If you would have told Harbaugh that he could take the lead with 4 minutes left to go in the game, before the game started, he would take that, right? Regardless if it's 1 point, 7 points, whatever. He said, hey, if I gave you an opportunity to take the lead with 4 minutes left to go in the game, would you take it against the Bills, home against the Bills? Emphatically, every single coach in the NFL would say, of course. Why would I not want to take the lead with 4 minutes?
Stupid idiot. What kind of question is that?
but yet somehow this coach, and it's apparent to me that these coaches outthink themselves, right? Because it's just the simplest play. And it had me yelling at my TV. And I'll give you another one. Sirianni up 8, 2 minutes to go in the game. They're up a score. They have the ball 4th and whatever on the Jacksonville 20, and they also go for it.
That was dumb.
Kicking a field goal puts you up 2 scores with less than 2 minutes to play. Of course you kick the field goal.
You're already up 8 at the same time. It's like, what are you doing?
Right. And of course they don't get it. And so Jacksonville gets the ball down now, 2 minutes to play with no timeouts, down 1 score instead of getting the ball back, down 2 scores. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And as a casual fan, we all can see it. I don't understand why coaches don't understand the basics, the easiest stuff. It's so infuriating.
One of the things about that game is that next year you're going to better be eternally grateful that was also a rain fest. Because Lawrence would not. People are like, oh, he's the first quarterback since in this century to lose. Well, the first player to lose 4 fumbles in a game in the torrential downpour. That situation could have backfired. Because reminder, they were up 14-0. Those Jaguars were, and I picked the Jaguars to actually win that game. I should have looked at weather this week. Weather is one of the most underrated parts of the season. And it almost makes me wonder, should we go all indoors? Although it kind of takes away the fun of some things. But, man, he better be glad it was raining because Lawrence does not turn that ball over 4 times, and they might lose that game because of that decision.
Yeah, the weather definitely played a part in that game. The rain generally favors the better running team, and there's no question the Eagles are a better running team. But Jacksonville played well. Jacksonville's played well all season long. I hate the fact that coaching decisions though take away from the Eagles. When the Eagles were a good team in this game, they played very well. but it's completely overshadowed by what I feel like is just egregiously bad coaching. I just can't get past it.
And also another thing I will say about that, about egregiously bad, it really cost people jobs. Like, ask this guy how he feels about something like a missed field goal. Like, maybe he can live with that. Although, again, I'm sorry, bro. I want to kill him too. But it's like when your coach literally does something to ruin the game, that makes even the missed field goals just like so much easier to deal with because their coach is being a complete doofus.
But it doesn't cost coaches games; it costs players games, which is the craziest part. The coaches don't ever have to really answer questions about it. And the media asks them for a week until the next game.
Cool.
Right. So they asked John Harbaugh today, Monday morning quarterback stuff, right? They'll ask him maybe tomorrow, and then come Wednesday, we're already back on the game plan for next Sunday, and we've totally moved on and forgotten it, right? And proof of that is, what about all the bad calls that happened in week 2 that we still haven't held them to the fire for, right? There was plenty of bad calls that happened. Andy Reid lost his team the game against the Colts, right? His bad playmaking decisions lost his team. We haven't talked about it at all, and nobody's talking about Andy Reid. All we're talking about now is how they just beat up on Tampa Bay. And so I'm not saying that.
And Titans, by the way, you saw the end of the first half of the Titans game in the Colts?
Yeah.
When Traylon Burks, I know you're a rookie. You catch it at the sideline and then jump back in, and they don't even get a field goal off because your coaches didn't tell you to go out of bounds. What are we doing here? I was if they made that field goal, that would ruin all momentum, and Colts would have been blown out.
I mean, when a player makes a mistake, it's partially the coach's fault, but it's also the player's fault. I'm talking about literal, when to use your timeouts and how to use your play calling and things like that. The coaches are on the hook for that stuff, and like I said, we just forget about it. They don't answer questions about it, and we just move on. Best case in point is Andy Reid last week, who cost his team a game, and we never even brought up on this show. And we moved on, and now they beat the Bucs, and nobody cares. Nobody remembers what happened in week 3.
And I do apologize for that, for not bringing that up on the show. I was just so happy that we won that game. Like, I can't say anything else. Next up, so Eagles, like you said, did beat the Jaguars. Cowboys beat the Commanders. And I know the Eagles are 4-0, but taking the standings aside, Sammy, I really believe the Cowboys are a better team. Because I feel like it's like the Cowboys, Cooper Rush or Dak Prescott, I don't care which one of them plays. I believe their quarterbacks are smart enough because, listen, Eagles have played some quarterbacks that have thrown them presents all year long. Like Kirk Cousins force-fitting Justin Jefferson was just foolish. Trevor Lawrence gave him like 6 turnovers of his own. That's not going to happen every game. And this Cooper Rush kid is smart. And that Dak Prescott guy, not bad either. And I don't think I'll ever see Dak. Like Tony Romo was known for throwing dumb interceptions. Dak does not do that. So I feel like the Cowboys defense is actually better. And I could look stupid when they play each other in a few weeks or wherever it is. But I think the Cowboys are better, man.
It's an interesting argument because I think head-to-head, I tend to agree with your side. I think the Cowboys match up really well with the Eagles specifically. Right. However, against the rest of the league, I think the Eagles are better, right? So the Eagles match up against the rest of the league very uniquely with their run style and their quarterback play and their speed. Few teams are equipped properly to deal with what the Eagles bring to the table. The Cowboys, I actually think, are equipped properly on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe the Bucs are too. But the Eagles bring a lot of matchup problems to a lot of teams. And so I think at the end of the season, even if the Cowboys were to sweep the Eagles, which is possible, I actually think the Eagles still might end up with a better record because they're just a really tough matchup for the rest of the league. So I don't know that this debate would even get settled in that capacity, but I would take the Eagles to win the division if you ask me, which team will have the better record. I think the Eagles are just a tough matchup for a lot of teams.
That's a good point because on Cowboys defensive line, Micah Parsons, I don't think you can run away from him all you want to. I feel like the Eagles would have to attack him a few times. And that's a versatile dude, man. And not just him, but there's guys on that defense. And Jalen Hurts, not the best passer. He's people like to say he's great, but he's like Lamar Jackson. He's going to have to pass the ball sometimes. And those Cowboys defenders, like Trevon Diggs, is like a Darius Slay. Like he'll jump those lanes. So that could be an interesting game.
To beat the Eagles, you need to have, two very good pass catchers, right? Because their secondary will shut down one. And you need to have very, very fast. Yeah, but you need two, right? And so the Cowboys will have Michael Gallup or they'll have Dalton Schultz. They'll have a secondary player who's going to do very well. I don't think CeeDee Lamb has good games against Eagles, especially again when they match up against him. But they have other pass catchers that are very good. You don't need to have a good running attack, and the Cowboys don't, right? But the Eagles don't really care if you run the ball on them. So the Cowboys will get their 3.5 yards of carry, no problem. But on the other side of the ball, you need to have two very fast corners to deal with the Eagles' speed and very versatile linebackers to deal with Jalen Hurts' speed. And the Cowboys have that defense perfect against the Eagles. So that matchup is really, really strong for the Cowboys. Most defenses don't have that. And that's what makes the Eagles such a bad matchup, right? Because if they double cover Devontae Smith, then they go to A.J. Brown. If they double cover both of them, then Jalen Hurts just shreds them in the middle of the field with his legs and over the middle. So it's a very, very difficult matchup for most people who can't play one-on-one on the outside. I do think the Cowboys have some holes, but not glaring holes the Eagles can take advantage of. But the Eagles have no holes really, and against the rest of the league, they're just gonna kill people. I mean, that's what they've been doing all year.
Right. A.J. Brown has been a great addition. He's being targeted like 10 times a game.
Yeah, and it's of course, because if they're double covering Devontae Smith, then A.J. Brown's one-on-one all day long. And sometimes it's the other way too. Like Devontae Smith had 10 catches, I think, in week 3 because they shaded over onto A.J. Brown's side. So, I mean, it's really, really tough for teams to cover both of them.
Fair enough. Let's get to the Rams and the 49ers tonight on Monday Night Football. The 49ers are 1-point favorites, which totals at 42.5. Sammy, I'll be honest. Rams at plus 105 is like literally stealing from the FBI to me. Like, I don't know what Vegas is thinking. Like, you saw with the Buccaneers game. I thought the Chiefs being like 1 point underdogs or 1-point favorites was just dumb. Same thing with this 49ers game. 49ers have not looked good with Jimmy Garoppolo back. And like, they haven't looked good all season with Trey Lance or Jimmy G. And I know the Rams always play the Cardinals well, but something about this Rams team and Stafford getting his elbow healthy screams like Rams win this game by 3 to 7 points. I don't see a scenario where the Rams win this game. Even if Debo, gets 200 total yards, I don't see a scenario.
I'll tell you a scenario, and I'm wearing my Debo jersey today, but the Rams have struggled when teams punch them in the mouth. They are not a tough team on either side of the ball, despite Aaron Donald being all world beast mode. They very much struggle when teams come out and push them around, and the Niners have done that very well over the last couple of years. Which is why they swept the Rams last year during the regular season, almost beat them in the playoffs as well, despite being severely under-talented versus the Rams. They play a very physical brand of football, and the Rams have not dealt well with that, and they still don't. And so if the Niners can enforce their will and be very physical with the Rams, I can see them pushing them around again, and especially being at home, especially with the Rams, not playing well so far this season. Jimmy doesn't have to do a lot for them to win. He just has to not make the big mistakes. And to me, it all comes down to that. Do the Niners put him in situations where he can make big mistakes in key spots, or do they punt the ball away, play good defense, and give themselves just very small opportunities to take short leads or whatever, which can then grow into bigger leads. I tend to like the 49ers tonight, honestly, laying the point. Even though I've been a big Rams proponent for the last few years, I've seen them get pushed around in this situation year after year. So it's hard for the Rams to win this type of game.
Nothing I'll say is that Kyle Shanahan, like every single year that I feel like they play in the playoffs every year. I don't know why, but I feel like Kyle Shanahan always seems to have the number of Sean McVay. I don't know what it is, but I've kind of noticed that a couple times. Like, didn't Sean McVay didn't the 49ers getting to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G one year? Wasn't that because they had beat Sean McVay's Rams? I can't remember, but I feel like he plays them pretty well.
I mean, the 49ers always beat the Packers, that's for sure. But
man, listen here.
The Rams are perfectly set up to stop a team that can pass the ball. That is their bread and butter, right? They want to rush 4, drop 7, play good defense, and make it very difficult for you to pass the ball. The 49ers don't want to pass. They want to throw 20 passes a game. And so they're not well equipped to stop a run heavy offense. And the Niners are just going to pound the run with Debo, with one of their 4 backs in the back, Jeff Wilson or whoever this week, this week's flavor of the month is. They're just going to pound the ball, and they wear down that defensive line, and it makes life very difficult for the Rams. It does every time they play. You always think, the Rams have all this high-powered offense, but it doesn't matter. They get the ball, they get the ball 20 minutes all game because the Niners control the clock. The Rams get pushed around all game, and by the fourth quarter, if the game is close, the Niners are just pounding the run and winning field goal type matchups. This happens again and again. So until proven otherwise, I'm going to think the Niners win this game.
You make good points, man. You make good points. Tomorrow is Top 5 Tuesday, and Sammy, I hope you're ready for that because one of those lists, two of them might be excited about. The first one, the baseball thing, is like basically going to be our World Series favorites. So pick accordingly. And also, college football seems to believe Alabama's loss to Texas didn't matter, albeit it was the injured backup quarterback. Apparently, Georgia beating Alabama's barely beating Texas. You get it. Apparently, Georgia beating Missouri wasn't good enough to keep them number 1. So I'm interested to see if we have compromised on that. I'm sure Aaron's going to love the fact that Alabama's number 1 this week. It just blows my mind.
I hate the ranking system in college football. It doesn't even matter. It matters in the last week of the season. For now, it's just something for us to argue over.
It is funny that Texas had their limping backup quarterback almost beat that team, but Alabama didn't fall a single spot. But Georgia punches Missouri in the mouth in the second half and wins the game. But yeah, no, definitely all about Alabama for sure.
It'll all fix itself when they play each other. I do want to give a quick shout out in the NFL. We had a scoregami yesterday. If you don't know what a scoregami is, the 173rd unique score in the NFL.
1,073rd, right?
1,073rd. Yeah, there's a website that follows this, and it's fantastic. I follow their Twitter page where they will track every game, and they'll let you know if there's an alert, that there's a possible scoregami. And watching that game last night with the yesterday morning with the Lions and Seahawks, it looked like it was going to be a scoregami like the whole second half. Again, if you don't know what a scoregami is, it's a unique score that's never happened in the NFL before, and they track the chances of it happening. And every time it happens, I always get super excited. So yeah, we had a scoregami yesterday.
48-45 was pretty cool.
Yep, first time ever in NFL history.
The Lions of the Cardiac Cats.
That was such a crazy game.
They played like 3 of those this year.
If you are a fantasy person, I'm not a huge fantasy person, but I did draft TJ Hawkinson this year. And if you have him, you can only understand like how exciting it was to watch him just absolutely tear up the Seattle defense. My 8th round pick as a tight end scored me 40 points. So that's what makes fantasy football so fantastic. I beat the first place team, and it was pretty fun at my house yesterday watching that game.
Good stuff. Remember to use code Mahomes for 15% off your order on our shop. Go to myearningjob.com, click the Our Shop logo. Expires Saturday the 8th, so get on that before it ends. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, I believe, by myself with Top 5 Tuesday. And Aaron's back on Wednesday, so that'll be fun. Thanks, Sammy, and y'all have a good one. Drive safe.